Hey guys, DOT here, and today let's talk a little bit about food addiction. Before we get into the video, I want to say thank you guys so much. Everyone who bought a t-shirt and joined Destroy Your Nation, you guys are incredible. Campaigns like the t-shirt campaign really keep a channel like this going. We're not quite big enough yet to monetize our ads, and we don't have any sponsors. So creating merchandise like the t-shirts really helps us in keeping all of the costs covered for these channels. Between upgrading equipment, all of the health and wellness adventures that we have planned that we're going to be doing stories on, even things like the gym membership, and now this newfound cost in food and supplements. All of it is possible because you guys who bought t-shirts. If you want to join Destroy Nation and didn't get your shot just yet, don't worry, there will be more t-shirts coming, so keep an eye out for those in the near future. Now, without further ado, let's just dive into this thing head first. Food addiction is a serious problem amongst the morbidly obese. According to a study done at UCSF, food addiction exists within 70% of the morbidly obese population, 50% of the obese population, and 20% of the population who is considered overweight. As of 2015, according to the former commissioner of the FDA, there are over 70 million Americans right now dealing with food addiction. An estimated 400,000 deaths per year, costing upwards of $117 billion per year, are attributed to morbid obesity. All of that is to say that food addiction is an incredibly serious issue that a lot of us face. In fact, probably more of us than we realize. Going off of just those statistics alone, most of us who are morbidly obese face food addiction. So what is food addiction and how do you deal with it? For me personally, I get really intense cravings that come on where I just want to binge eat. A perfect example was just last night. During this first kind of hot summer's night, my wife took my daughters out to ice cream, and I kind of watched all of her Instagram stories as they ate all of their ice cream. But at home, inside, my entire insides were turning upside down. It was almost like a force was compelling me to go to the kitchen and eat an entire tub of peanut butter. Things that normally don't even look good happened to be cravings that I was having at that moment. And of course, this is just one example, but food addiction has many faces. So the important thing is, what do you do with that food addiction? For me, I've found a couple coping mechanisms. Some people go to 12-step meetings, although I haven't really found that to work for me. With a lot of people, they find success in accountability partners. I have a couple of those. In fact, just last night, my wife, when I asked her to bring me home some ice cream, reminded me of the path that I am on. My strongest coping mechanism I found probably about a month into this journey. Whenever I would have a fight with my wife, or if I had a stressful day at work, I would often take 20, 30 bucks and go to McDonald's, and I'd spend every penny. I would park in a dark, secluded part of their parking lot, and I would eat every last bit of that food. In fact, I used to do this quite frequently. It was another night, I remember I really wanted to go down to McDonald's and just binge everything. I did it to cope with pain, I did it to cope with anger, I did it to cope with frustration. In fact, thinking back to my early childhood, I even did it to cope with victories. As we would win football games, my whole family would go out to pizza and I would eat an entire pizza by myself. But on this particular night, something changed. I decided that I wasn't ever going to give in to food addiction again. And no, I don't say that lightly. It is a very difficult task to fight this, but you can do it. And here's what I decided to do. I decided not to hide from food, but to embrace it. I grabbed 6 pieces of fruit and I arranged them neatly under some lights on top of 2 pieces of paper, and I just started to draw what I saw. I examined every imperfect line and every dimple and every orange, and I drew every shade of brown that was on these bananas. I even went as far as drawing the stickers and barcodes. I became infatuated with this little cornucopia of fruit that I had created. It didn't take away the urge. I still wanted to go binge eat, but it did get me through that night. Now when I feel that, I whip out my sketchbook and I start drawing. For me, that's a really powerful coping mechanism, but the point I'm trying to make is that you find a coping mechanism, that you go out and create something that will help you get through these hard times with food. And lastly, that you don't do it alone. One of those statistics that I said in there was that over 70 million Americans struggle with food addiction. In fact, 70% of the morbidly obese population struggle with food addiction. So you're not alone. Talk about it. Stop being ashamed about it. Let people know what you're going through, because when you are transparent in your struggles, you give people the encouragement to take on their struggles head on. This is why hard things happen, so that as we face them and as we defeat them, we can extend a hand down the ladder to the next person who is trying to face or defeat the same thing that we just went through. And one last point that I want to hit on before I end this video, I know it's been a little bit long, is this. If you take anything away from my journey or any of my videos, I want it to be this. Wherever you are in your journey, whatever you're struggling with, whatever demons you're fighting, it's okay that you're there. The expectations that you won't deal with these things are false, and they're lies. It's okay to be exactly where you are, as long as you try your hardest not to be there tomorrow. Keep moving the ball forward. Push a little bit harder. But the reality of the situation that you are in is that you are in it. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace the problems that you're having. Talk about them. Share them. Help the next person who's going to go through it. We are in this together. We can't succeed alone. So I know this video hasn't been exactly as fun or exciting as a lot of my other videos, but I felt like it was really important to make. As always, thank you so much for being on your journey. You have no clue how wide the ripples of your actions will go. And thank you for following me on mine. So if you like what I'm trying to do here, smash that thumbs up button. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Don't forget to check the notification bell right next door to make sure that you see all the new content that I put out. Comment below with your struggles. What are you going with, and how can we help you? Do you face food addiction or binge eating or really bad cravings? What are your coping mechanisms? Maybe you can help somebody else. If you know someone who could benefit from hearing this message, please share it with them. Until next time, DOT out.